How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Dana.
Absolutely. This movie is phenomenal. Can we talk a little bit about, you played Davis, but you also serve as the producer of the film. Can we talk a little bit about how you, as an actor, is able to dive deep into Davis and also be a producer, but allowing yourself to kind of step away from the character to see the overall picture?
I mean, a lot of the producing work. I mean, there are different phases of it. So as soon as I decided that I wanted to work on this movie, I had a lot of things that I felt like needed to happen in order for the movie to work, and that's script, character development, casting, and so I had input into all of that, into characters changed. Sienna's character was not a woman. My character, obviously, when I came on to play it, he was white initially. When I came on to play, he became black, but that there's some things that are necessary there. The entire who this character was in the movie was different, and he couldn't just be he was a political hand to the mayor that needed to solve the situation before, and I didn't think it was right in this situation for a black man to be a tool for the man, a tool for the system. In this particular instance, I wanted him to be a guy on the ground with a skill set and a code, and I think you're exploring the power of police officers in this movie, because they're a hand of the justice system where they're judge and jury in the street when you meet them. And so it was important to explore that in a way where the movie's not necessarily about when cops. It is about when cops use their gun, but it's not. It is not necessarily a political movie, but it comes up. It points to that. All those things that I felt were important. So I think it's and many others. As a producer, I wanted to push for certain things in the story, and when you're on set, you can't be. I gotta have to be in the film. I have to be in my role. But I have a producing partner who was there every day, who kept up with what was going on, who solved problems for the film. So Logan Coles was he was the second part of me. We're the second part of each other, and he pushed our interests, during a shoot day, even though days when I couldn't be on set the whole time. So you do as much as you can to make the film you want to make.
Because the script was so different from its initial beginning, was there any kind of pushback at first when it came to all of the changes that you saw necessary?
We all saw room for it to improve. You know what I'm saying? The conceit of the film was shutting down the city. There being a clock on that. The sense that there was a deeply rooted. You have a deeply rooted sense of these characters from being from New York. That's what maintains. A lot of the other stuff. We felt wrong. Brian wanted changes as well. The Russo brothers wanted changes as well. So it was just a chance for all of us to collaborate. I think sometimes the script leads the way, and sometimes you're developing the script based upon the people that you're working with, and this became a fun experience because we were able to do that. Right. So it wasn't a fight. It was like an exploration, an experiment with everybody.
Your role is very complex. The character itself is complex. Was there any kind of process that you went through in order to break down the character? Did you pull from life experiences or anything that you may have seen in the news or environment?
I started from real cops. Okay. I did a gun training or firearms training with an officer in LA, who was an LAPD officer, and we would fire live rounds, 500 rounds a day, 3-4 times a week for at least a month. Maybe we had a little more time than that. But we would talk. We would just talk about what it meant to, the power of that weapon and when you should use it, and how you enter a space and what is the psychology behind that, and that was helpful. And then when we got to New York, actually pre-production, I started with those guys. It was two detectives that I rode along with, spent time with. They were also with us every day on set. They set us up with some NYPD guys that do SWAT, and they know how to clear rooms. And Sienna and I bonded together, I think, in a way, because we did that training together. And so that we got to see more of like of the lifestyle of an NYPD detective and police officer, and all of that was part of the training. Like it was pretty intense, actually.
Now, when it comes to the intensity like that, are you able to quickly shake off a character, or do you find him living within you still after the fact that the movie is filmed?
I always have an exorcist, you know what I'm saying? Between, like, there's always a period of time when I am letting go of a role. And with this, it's more tension, more like, of a, patience, gaining my sense of patience back, but it's always a shaking off period with every role, no matter what it is, for me.
Right. Now, also, when it comes to the movie, there's a huge part where you shut down the entire city, and this is a large city. So, can you talk a little bit about what was the process of trying to get the authenticity of what that would be like?
I don't think it was. How do I say this? For a lot of it, that's more of what Brian, brought to the table. He had a sense of, like, I think, the angst, the pressure that he wanted to be in every scene, the pace that he wanted to be in each scene. When you're playing against those things, and so we played around with, I guess, all those elements, pace, tension, subtext, in order to give you a sense of that. And then it's just the city itself. Like, New York is like a hard place to shoot. Right. We shot some of this in New York, some of this in Philadelphia. But it's a hard place to shoot because people get involved. Like, people that are not in the movie want to get in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And, if you stop people from going certain places, they're not always receptive to that. Paparazzi can be intense in New York. So they're sometimes disturbing shots and getting in shots. So all of that was a factor, like a practical, problem of dealing with the city. Shooting at Grand Central Station, like, we had it for a period of time where we had everybody shut out, and then there was another period of time when we still had to get some shots when people were moving through it. It's a hard thing to do in New York.
Right. Gina, we have time for one more question.
Okay. And last, how would you describe Andre's perfect day?
A perfect day for Andre?
Yes.
To be honest with you, it's because of what he's dealing with personally. Will be a day when his mom does not forget who he is. That would be a perfect day. His mom not forgetting who he is. Him, not having to go to work. You know what I'm saying? A day off where he could, like, literally let go of everything, and his mom remembers who he is.
Thank you so much for speaking.
All right, thank you.